Ever feel like you're constantly bombarded by health advice? You finally feel like you're sleeping enough, then bam, new study about when you should be sleeping, not just how long.
Yeah, it can feel like you're always chasing the next big health trend.
Exactly. So today, we are diving into the fascinating world of sleep consistency.
It's definitely a hot topic.
I feel like we're beyond just aiming for 8 hours, right? This deep dive is all about how consistent our sleep is, thanks to this article I found, which was super interesting.
Yeah, there's definitely been a shift in sleep science. It's not just about hitting that magic number of hours anymore.
So no more counting sheep. We need to be, what, strategically scheduling them?
Haha, not quite. Think of it this way. Your body operates on a 24-hour clock called the circadian rhythm, which basically keeps everything in sync.
Right. I've definitely heard of the circadian rhythm, but I always figured it was mostly about, like, why I feel tired at night.
It's way more than just sleepiness, though.
Yeah.
Imagine your body is like a symphony orchestra with each instrument representing a different process in your body, like, digestion or energy production.
I'm with you.
Now imagine if the musicians just started and stopped playing whenever they felt like it.
Oh, that'd be a mess.
Total chaos, right?
My ears are hurting just thinking about it.
Well, inconsistent sleep is kind of like that chaotic orchestra. Your body really thrives on predictability. When you sleep and wake up at roughly the same time each day, you're giving those musicians like perfect timing.
I'm starting to see where you're going with this. So even if I get a solid 8 hours, but at totally random times, my body's still like, what is going on?
Exactly. And this is where it gets super fascinating. This article highlights this connection between consistent sleep and something called heart rate variability.
HRV, right. I've seen that on my fitness tracker, but I'll be honest, I have no clue what it means.
It sounds way more complicated than it is. Think of HRV like this, Oberton. Imagine a car engine that can easily shift gears, run smoothly.
Okay, I can picture that.
High HRV, a sign of resilience.
Just a low HRV would be like my old car that would stall if you looked at it funny.
Pretty much. Low HRV is like that clunky engine struggling to adapt. And studies show that even just 1 hour of variation in your sleep schedule can throw it off.
Seriously, just 1 hour. I'm starting to feel personally attacked by my weekend sleep-ins. But really, why does this HRV thing even matter?
Well, consistently low HRV is linked to a bunch of health problems down the line. Heart disease, diabetes, even mental health.
Okay, now you're talking about stuff I can't ignore. So better sleep, healthier heart. Got it. But this article went even further, right? It wasn't just about when we hit the pillow. It talked about the timing of other stuff too, like when we eat and look at screens. Yeah, so it sounds like my whole routine needs a serious makeover. But where do we even start? You mentioned it earlier, but everything seems to affect our circadian rhythm, what we eat, when we're on our phones, maybe even what time I water my plants.
You're right. It's not just about when you actually sleep, but also about how you structure your entire day.
Yeah.
Don't worry, though. This isn't about becoming some kind of sleep monk living in a perfectly controlled environment or anything. The article had some really practical tips.
Okay, good, because I was starting to get a little stressed, so hit me with it. What's the number one thing that makes the biggest difference?
If you really want to give your circadian rhythm a high five, you got to start with a consistent wake-up time. And I mean every day. Weekends, too.
Oof, my weekends just heard that and shuddered. But seriously, why is that so important?
It all comes down to setting that internal clock, remember? Like we were saying with that symphony analogy. Having a consistent wake-up time is like giving the conductor a clear downbeat, right? Do that every day, and even if life happens and messes with how long you sleep, your body can handle those little bumps in the road much better.
So hitting the snooze button is a big no-no, huh?
You got it. Now, another big one is how you start your day. It's tempting to reach for your phone first thing in the morning, but try swapping that for some natural light instead.
So even if I can't control when I wake up because of work or whatever, even just getting a little bit of sunshine right when I get up makes a difference.
Big time. That morning light is like a power-up for your circadian rhythm. See, sunlight gives your cortisol levels a boost, that's your get-up-and-go hormone, and at the same time, it signals to your brain that it's time to ease up on the melatonin, the sleep hormone.
Okay, so trading doom scrolling for some morning sun. Got it. What about the other end of the day, though? The article also mentioned how bad looking at screens before bed is for our sleep.
It all comes back to melatonin, right? Our devices emit blue light, which basically tricks your brain into thinking it's still daytime.
Mm.
And then that messes with melatonin production and makes it harder to fall asleep.
Ah, it's like my brain sees a notification and thinks it's party time.
Exactly. Think about it. You wouldn't blast upbeat music to try and wind down for the night, right? That blue light is basically like party music for our brains.
Digital detox before bed. Check. Okay, now to confess my biggest sleep sin. I'm a total late night snacker.
Late night meals, especially the heavy ones, are like making your digestive system work overtime, when it should be clocking out for the night. Your body's stuck breaking down all that food instead of winding down.
So earlier dinners are the goal.
Exactly. Aim to finish dinner at least a few hours before bed. That gives your body a chance to digest properly. And while we're talking about what to avoid before bed,
Let me guess. Caffeine and alcohol are next on the chopping block.
you got it. Look, I get it. A glass of wine to unwind at the end of the day can be nice, but alcohol actually disrupts your sleep later in the night, so you miss out on those deeper, more restorative sleep stages.
And caffeine is basically asking my brain to pull an all-nighter, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
You want to give your brain a chance to slip into dreamland, not keep it all wired and alert.
So, we've covered so much about the power of consistent sleep, but I have to admit, I'm feeling a little overwhelmed. Just like now I'm stressed about stressing out my circadian rhythm.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I can see how it would feel that way.
So where do we even begin? Like, what's the first step?
Well, the good news is you don't have to completely change your entire life overnight or anything.
Okay.
Even small changes can make a big difference.
So what's the one thing that'll give me the most bang for my buck when it comes to sleep consistency?
It might sound too simple, but honestly, it's sticking with that consistent wake-up time. That's really the foundation of it all.
Yeah, we've mentioned that a few times now, so I'm guessing there's a good reason it's at the top of the list.
Definitely. When you wake up at the same time every day, it's like you're sending this crystal clear signal to your brain that it's time to start the day.
Right.
And once your brain gets that message, your body gets better at releasing the right hormones at the right times, And then it's not just about sleep anymore. It's about optimizing your entire day.
And it's wild to think that all of that comes back to just like when we wake up. But it's not just about having more energy either, which would be amazing in itself. But this article highlighted how messing with our sleep schedules can lead to some pretty serious health issues in the long run.
Yeah, exactly. And this is where it gets really interesting, I think, and it's something the article touched on a little. If our bodies are this sensitive to when we sleep and wake up, what other everyday things are impacting our health in ways we haven't even considered?
Whoa. Okay, now that is a thought. It's
Be-
like we're just scratching the surface when it comes to really understanding how our bodies work.
Totally. This whole deep dive into sleep consistency has been about way more than just logging enough hours. It's about understanding how powerful our natural rhythms are and how we can work with them, even with small changes, to make a big impact.
It's actually pretty amazing when you think about it. It feels kind of empowering that we have more control than we think when it comes to our health.
It really is. It's not about being perfect, right? It's just about making choices that support our well-being.
Well said. So, to everyone listening, if you take away just one thing from this conversation, let it be this. Your sleep matters. Big time. And it's not just about how many hours you get, but how consistent you are with those zzz.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Try tweaking that wake-up time, even if it's just by 15 minutes at first. You might be surprised at what a difference it makes.
Small changes, big impact.
Until next time, happy sleeping, everyone.